This video will demo how to set up and use donation campaigns in VBO. We'll start by going through the default settings that are available. To find those, we'll go into the Setup menu, down to Donations, and then click on Donation Settings. So all the options here that are available have this really nice question mark next to them that gives a description of what this area is used for. So if you ever forget or don't know where this will display, just hover over the question mark and you'll get a nice description. So right at the top, you have an area where you can put in the tax ID. It's really good to have this tax information on all the receipts that you send out to your patrons. You can override the donation header and put in a donation picture. You can put in a donation description that shows up in the plugin when people are donating. You've got the donation confirmation. When patrons donate online, they get a confirmation, and this is where you can set up the text that goes in there. You've got a donation receipt that you can set up. After a patron donates online, there's an area where they can put in how they want to be recognized, if it wants to be anonymous or in somebody else's name. So you can put in some descriptive text about that in here. There's a donation print template. So this is for the donation letter if you want to print some of those out and send them out to your patrons. And then when you set up the campaign, you'll have the option to make it a pop-up donation. So this is where you can put a template in for when you make pop-up donations. So these are the default options you have. And if we go back up to our donation menu, there's a couple of other areas that we can edit. So we've got our donation types here. VBO gives you the types that are available to you, and say if you don't utilize the in-kind gifts, you can uncheck the box and then click save. But I'm going to keep all of these in here as options. We've got the donation funds. VBO has a couple defaults in here: board, corporation, foundation, individual. And then you can manage these to put in, maybe you want to change the name of it, or you want to put in your general ledger number for that. You can put that in and hit save. Or if you have something to add, just click add fund. And then you can enter the name of the fund and the GL number. Next, we can go into the donation levels, and you'll probably see I do have something set up in here already, but we'll edit that. And this message at the top is really important to remember. So a patron's donation level is based on their 1-year donation history. So it's not based on their all-time donor history or on a one-time donation. So it will combine all the donations over the last 12 months, and that will be what their level is. So I'm going to edit this donor level. So my first level is going to be a star donor. I'm going to actually edit that to be from all the way from 1 penny to, let's say, $50. And then we'll save and close that. And then I can add a new donation level here, and we'll name it performer. And we'll go, since the last one ended at $50, we'll start this one at 50.01 and go to $100. Add and close. And then we'll add one more level. I'll put this one as a director. And since the last one ended at 100, we want to go from 100.01 and we'll go to $500 on that one. So after you've got all your levels and all your other settings done, you can start building campaigns. So this is going to be this last option here at the bottom of your donation menu. So there are 2 types of campaigns that you can have. A global campaign will show on all of your events, registration checkout pages, and then you can create donation widgets and plugins with these. And then you can set up a campaign that you only want to attach to one event. When you create one of those, the event campaign will override the default global campaign that you have set up. So here you can see that we already have a global campaign set up, and you can edit this after you've set it up by using this manage option and then going into this edit menu here. But I'll just walk you through adding a campaign. So you'll see up at the top, you have the option to add it in as a pop-up like I was talking about before. You can put in the campaign name. You can assign it to a donation fund if you want. You can enter the valid date range. You can have it never end if you want. Sometimes people put this in if they have a fiscal year that they want to stick to. Then you can put in the pricing that you want. So it has to be a minimum of $1, And then I'll add in other suggested donation levels. And then when a patron's viewing this, they'll see these suggested prices, and then at the bottom, they will still have the option to put in a custom amount. So they are not limited to the suggested prices that you have in here. You can add a target amount for the campaign. You can put in some notes, maybe put a mission or vision statement or details about this specific campaign. You can override what the donation button says. So we can click Add Campaign, and it's automatically going to show up as a global campaign. So if you want to make this event specific, you go into the Manage option, click Edit, and you'll see that there are a couple other extra details that came in here. You can add it in as a plugin. You still have the option to make it a pop-up if you want. But then here you've got this event option. So if you want this to be assigned to a specific event and override any global campaigns that you have set up, you can use this drop-down menu, find your event, and then now it'll be assigned. So when a patron is checking out online, they will be prompted to donate to this campaign and not your global campaign. And then you have the added option of choosing where you want this donation to show on the plugin. So you can put it in above the tickets or below the tickets. So I did make some edits, so I'm going to click Save and Close. So now you'll see that it lies under this event-specific campaign area. If you're going to use the donation campaign for a widget, you can add an image to it by clicking on this box here. Scrolling down, you can choose your file, choose how you want the picture position. Then you would just click Upload Picture and then close out. But this feature is only allowed on donation widgets. You can't use it if you're just adding it to an event. So if you were to click this view option here, it's going to take you to the ticketing for the event that you have this donation set up on. So if you ever go in to edit the event, you can also access the donation information from the ticket area. You don't always have to go into the donation area to access the donation that's set up for this event. And you can also edit it from here if you needed to make any changes to it. While we're also in this event area, if we go into the event information, and then we scroll down, you'll see this enable donation area. So if we hover over this here, it says that this will enable donation options for your event. You can set the option to not show donations on the event page. So here, if we click this, it's going to show the donations when the patron is in their cart. So after they've chosen their tickets, everything, and they go to the checkout, they'll be presented with the items in their cart, and then they will see the donation campaigns. But if you click this box that says enable donations on event page, it will show up when the patron is purchasing their ticket. So the page before the cart, when a patron is selecting their tickets on a seating map, or if they're doing general admission tickets, they will also see the option to give a donation. So sometimes this is nice to have for an event. If a patron can't go to your event, but they still want to donate, they'll have that option to donate without having to put tickets in their cart. So if you want to add this information, then click Save. It's nice to put that and just enable the donations on your event. So now we can go back and set up the thank you letters on our donations. So if we go back into our setup menu and then into donations and back to our donation campaigns, then you can set up the specific messages for this campaign. So if you click Manage here and you click on Thank You Email, this is where you can set up the email that you want to send out after a patron has donated, or if you want to print out a letter for them, you can set up that letter here. You've got all of these options for placeholders, and you can preview it after you've been setting it up. Now these donations will show up on the plugins when customers are going through the purchase process, but you can also put donations in through the box office. So to do that, we can just go in through the box office, either choose box office or phone sales, and then you can enter a donation here. So you can make it a single contribution, a pledge, matching gift, or memorial gift. I'll just make it a single contribution of $50. And then you can put in the gift date if it's something other than the current day. You can select the campaign that you wanted to go to. Just make it go to the global. And then if you want to put it into a specific fund, this is going to be an individual donation. And then you can mark it as anonymous if you want. So you can put add donation in there. Then from here, the rest of the purchase process is the same. So you can go look up the account like normal. You'll input the information, and then if you scroll down, if you have your thank you message set up for the campaign that you're donating to, you'll see that you can choose to send the email confirmation automatically and send the thank you message automatically. So you can check these boxes, and then when you go into pay now, you can choose the payment method and accept the payment. And then when you hit process order, as the order concludes, it's going to automatically send out that thank you message and the confirmation as well. If you don't do that, you can always hit send email confirmation, and there will be info at the bottom with the donation information, but it won't be that thank you email that you have set up. Now I'm going to go into the patrons account by clicking to go to Caitlin Warner. So when you get into the patrons account, you can see their account status here. It breaks down the percentage of orders on their account that are donations, subscriptions, and tickets. You can see the donor level right away in here. And then if you want to look at their donations, you can use this donation tab here. And you can see the $50 donation that was just made. Now, if you have a lot of donations that have come in and you want to send out a stack of donor letters, you can use the CRM, go to donors. Then you can search by the campaign, donor level. You can narrow it down by the donation date. When you have all the donors that you need listed, you can click on print donor letters, and a separate window will come up with all of the letters that you can send out to your patrons. And it's either going to set up with the campaign specific letter that you set up before, or it will have the default letter that you had set up. So this is how you can use your default settings, set up campaigns, put in a donation through the box office, and then send out your donor letters.